Hello and welcome to Business 301 Managerial Economics. My name is David Leventhal. I'm one of the instructors for the class and one of its developers. I want to help you get prepared for the class this semester by talking a bit about what will be expected of you and what you can expect from the class regardless of who your professor is. I want to focus on the two most crucial aspects of your performance and therefore your takeaway from this class: your professionalism and your participation. Most importantly, this is a 300 level business class and it will be conducted accordingly. You can expect to always be treated with professionalism and respect, and you will be expected to always act and perform in a similar manner. That means first and foremost that your instructor will expect you to submit all of your work on time. Your work will always be expected to demonstrate thoughtful consideration of the material and a professional presentation, including proper editing. As a rule of thumb, if you wouldn't give it to your boss the way it is, you shouldn't give it to your professor that way either. So to get started, take some time right after you watch this video to review the course outline, syllabus, your professor's welcome video, Blackboard announcements, and any other materials that will help you to navigate the course. Note all important dates in your calendar and make sure that you are on top of all due dates for assignments and discussion board postings. Please be sure to refer often to that calendar to ensure that you are well prepared for all your required work so you can get it done fully, thoughtfully, and on time. You should not expect that your professor will be reminding you when assignments are due. That information is provided to you at the beginning of the semester, and you will be expected to not need reminding. Many of you are already professionals and therefore already familiar with this. Most of the rest of you soon will be. You will be treated as professionals, and that includes being expected to be on top of all of your work without prodding from people around you. There is a variety of work in this class, but your discussions will be the meat of the course. Since the discussion board will be the most important part of the class and the most important to determining your grade, I'd like to spend most of our time here today talking about it. Despite this being an online course, there is no better education than informed discussion with your professor and your peers. While the textbook will provide you with basic background, and you should be sure to carefully read and consider each week's textbook readings, it is the class discussions that will really help you learn the material. The course has been designed to simulate an in-class experience in creating an ongoing conversation. To encourage the most active participation, your professor will not be providing you with a running tally of your participation points. You shouldn't be concerned about doing the minimum to gain the points that you need. You should be concerned about furthering the conversation and therefore your education. If you have to ask whether you are engaging in enough discussion, you can expect that you are not. But to put you at ease, I will now tell you how to ensure you earn all of the many points that are available in this class for participation. Each week's discussions will begin with questions posed on the discussion board. After carefully reading the assigned pages in the text, prepare your initial thoughtful and complete responses to the week's discussion questions and post them at your earliest opportunity, but in any event before the deadline. Take a look at the responses of your fellow students and your professor and engage with them substantively where you have something to add or a question to ask. I want to stress that your professor will not be grading your participation on substance. She or he will be looking at whether you are fully answering the questions that have been posed and then continuing the conversation. You will not be expected to fully grasp the material at the beginning of the conversation. That's what the class is for. We will hope that you will have a fuller understanding of the material by the end of our discussions. So don't worry about making a mistake. Be willing to think outside the box, speak up, ask questions about material that you're not even sure what you think the answer should be. Challenge yourself and others. Stimulate your own thoughts and those of your classmates. It will help all of us to learn throughout the semester. This all means that you will be expected to post a lot, but also at several different times so we can continue to further the conversation. You should be logging onto the discussion board several different times for each discussion question. Ideally, you'll be returning to discussions almost daily, if not daily, sometimes more than once a day. Each time you log on, you should be addressing the substantive questions and issues raised by your professor and your classmates that most interest you. The discussion should take up more of your time in the class than any of your other required work, but this should not be onerous. Remember that the more times you log on and go back to the discussions, the less time you will need to spend on each particular session. Most importantly, you will find the material in the discussions a lot more engaging and a lot more relevant to you than what you are reading in the text. We expect that if you actively engage in the discussions, you will not only learn a lot from those discussions, you will actually find the material in the class much more stimulating and much more enjoyable. We know that you have a lot of things going on in your lives, and we commend you for your decision to further your education, and thank you for choosing to do it at CUNY SPS. We will be happy to work with you in achieving your goals, though that will never mean making compromises that shortchange your education. Since you have taken on this commitment, we expect that you are ready to fully meet it. Doing so will not only further your education, it will make the class enjoyable and more valuable for you and for the rest of us. So please, stay on top of all of your work. Feed your curiosity and always put your best foot forward. It is more true of an online class than it is for most other things. What you will get out of this class will be determined by what you put into it. We look forward to making this journey with you over the next several weeks, and we wish you all a wonderful semester.